Welcome to the Self-Care 101 podcast with your host, straight talking life coach, Puja McClymont. This show provides simple self-development, supporting you to embody your self-worth so that you can live the happier, more fulfilled life that you deserve without burning out. Thank you so much for listening today. Hello, it's season 2, episode 33. I'm back. I know. It has been a hot minute since I released an episode, and all I can tell you is that I have been spending a lot of that time in downtime working on leveling up for you. Now, although the pandemic, it obviously made us reflect, but I just don't feel like I actually got a chance to do it properly during the actual lockdowns and stuff like that until things started to settle a bit more in 2022. So what I've done in the past few months is literally just step back from everything and then almost press the reset button. So whilst I've been away, I have been working hard on gaining new skills, learning new techniques, connecting with new people, and ultimately coming back to my purpose and my intentions for this amazing show. Now, I feel like the show kind of grows as I grow, so I hope that you feel this too and that we're essentially growing together. I'm going to do 2 more shows for season 2, and then we're going to move on to an epic season 3, which I promise you are going to love. Thank you so much for your patience. So let's get to it. Okay, so what have I been up to? Well, I've essentially been needing to go within. I felt like towards the end of 2021, I kind of was okay with where I was in my life, but I wanted to do more and I didn't know what I needed to do or how I needed to do it. So I essentially left the last show, which was about dreaming big, and I thought that's a really good one to just leave on a high. And maybe even recording that show is what actually was the catalyst to get me into this zone of reflection for myself. So I spent the last few months pretty much just cultivating skills, bettering myself as a coach and meeting new people, going to courses, and just really in a growth zone, I think is the best way of putting it, in a learning, development, growth zone. Feels really good. But the most important thing that I realized when I was doing all this studying and retraining and things was that I was neglecting a very, very important part of my personal life, which was essentially, and it's really weird to say this, but it is, and it has been, is essentially holding me back from taking my next kind of steps in my career and what I wanted to do. And this thing is my weight. Now, if you've been an avid listener, I bang on about my weight because it's my Achilles heel. And I've realized that whenever I've mentioned it in this show, it's been more of a kind of I want to rather than I'm going to. So I've been I want to lose weight and get in shape rather than I'm going to lose weight and get in shape. Anyway, I'm currently losing weight and getting in shape. And this time what I've done is I've created a bunch of goals. So the short-term goal is actually weight loss and the long-term goal is the sustainable lifestyle change. In between those goals, I've got strength as a goal. I've got fitting into one of my size 10 dresses as a goal. Of course, a nice Diane von Furstenberg dress. And I've got energy levels and eating clean as those are sort of things that I've realized I really, really want more of. I want to live a long life. I've stopped smoking. I know that's where I get my voice from. So God knows what's going to happen to it now. But I was a little bit of a smoker. So I've stopped that now and I'm all the better for it. Better skin, health, yada, all of that, right? So I realized that coming into this year, what I thought I needed to level up in terms of my work, my business, wasn't actually what I needed to do. Where I needed to level up was in my personal life and what I was actually doing for myself. Because it's very difficult when you run your own business and your business is basically you. And then it's hard for you to sort of distinguish the two, like between the two, personal goals, professional goals, because they kind of intertwine, right? So this is a good learning, good lesson, and it gave me a lot of insight into how I can help my clients further, how I can help you guys listening further. And I've noticed a real trend towards wanting to help small businesses. And I feel like small businesses are hearing my message too, because they seem to be coming to me. So owner-founders of small businesses, there's a lot of help out there for businesses who are more established or bigger, but not so much for your one-man bands, two-man bands, the small, tiny businesses that can make some decent moolah. So I can see that there's an attraction there and I'm going with it. It's keeping me vibed up high and I am all for that. But essentially, I'm here for you, right? I'm here for you, the individual. You are an ambitious professional. You've got goals and plans and dreams and you're going to achieve them. You know why? Because you have everything you need in you to achieve it and you're going to use all the right tools. You're going to get all the right support and you're going to smash it. Can you hear my energy levels? This level of energy is literally from exercising every day for the last month. I'm not going to lie. Every single day for the last month, I've pretty much exercised every single day and I am high on energy, endorphins. I can't take it. It's too good. Okay, so that's basically my leveling up journey and where I've been. With regards to the podcast, it was really important that I came back with a renewed sense of vision for the show, right? I want to do big things with the show. I do. But rather than talking about it or thinking about it, I wanted to come to season 3 having acted upon it. So in order to do that, I had to spend some time cultivating some relationships, learning, meeting new people, and understanding better where I'm going and where I want the show to go and who I want to be involved in that process. So that took a bit of time, but I promise you, the first guest is mind blowing. And I've even changed the music. The music is so fun. And I am psyched for you to hear this first episode of season 3, which will come out on the 6th of April. Now, until then, couple of things that really sort of came as a major kind of wake up moment during this period that I thought was essential to share with you guys. The first one is when we come into a new year, we have all these plans. We want to do this, we want to do that. I'm going to do this, I'm going to be that. And we tend to add things to our plate. Now, the problem with adding things to our plate is that we get completely overwhelmed and we can't sustain it. So rather than adding, now depending on where you are now, this episode is airing in spring, right? So it's a good time for renewal, pressing reset, checking in on your goals, checking in on your progress, seeing how you want the rest of the year to flow. It's a good time to see whether you are doing enough of the things that you want to be doing, or do you need to be doing less of things that aren't necessarily great for you? This could be reviewing your calendars, looking at your schedules, looking at your weekends. Like, let me give you an example. My weekends are booked up roughly 2 weeks in advance, not more than that. And if they are booked up more than that, it's because it's someone's birthday. It's like a 40th or a 30th or a baby's birthday or something, right? Some big deal. Those ones are fine. But otherwise, my diary is open on the weekends, nearly every weekend, because I want to know what I feel like doing when I get to Friday, because not every Friday do I want to spend a whole day on trains with my son. As much as he would love me to do that all day Saturday, it's not going to happen, hon. I need other things. And I might come to a Friday and go, oh, I fancy a bit of a spa day, or, oh, I fancy meeting up with a friend. And I know that's not always practical. Don't get me wrong, I do understand that. But having that flexibility, and then just on the off chance, messaging someone saying, are you around? And they say yes, it's like win. So look at what you can potentially take away from your plate so that you can create more space, create more time to do more intentional things. Now, I said that on purpose because this is going to be a key topic of the next episode, which I really, really hope you love. But I'm getting so ahead of myself because I'm like, I want to wrap up season 2 really well, but I also want to talk about like what's coming up, because coming up is so fun. Anyway, here we go. Let's go back. Focus. The irony, right? The next point I wanted to talk about was focus. Focus. Right. The one thing, or the main piece of advice that I want to give you for this year, for the rest of your lives, is focus. Now, when I say focus, I don't mean put your head down and only look at what you're doing. I mean commit to what it is you want to do and really direct all your energy, your thoughts, your conversations to that thing. In a positive way, obviously, but focus. It's so beyond crazy how distracting our world is. And I think it's actually been made worse in the pandemic because we've been even more connected to apps and reliant on apps than we have ever been before. Social media, you know my feelings towards social media. But it's very much a time now where the distraction is almost at like peak levels, I would say. And I'm sure there are studies already like being compiled to reflect this. So because there is so much distraction, I urge you to stay offline for as long as you possibly can if you're working towards something. So as an example, in order for me to start this health and fitness journey, I had to literally, for about a week and a half, not do any of my business work because I needed to look at my personal life, because that takes up a lot of time and space. I needed to look at my personal life to see how I could make adjustments to it so that I was able to consistently meet my health and fitness goals. And my health and fitness goals mean that I exercise 3 to 5 times a week and that I commit to the meal plans. And obviously that requires the shopping, the cooking, the prep. But I also need to feed my husband and my child. And I also need to keep the house clean and tidy, get the child new socks, entertain my husband and all the things that come with running a house. So I needed that time to restructure the way I was doing things, choosing a day for the food shop, choosing a day for when I was going to start, like do cooking and meal prep. So all these sorts of things. But by doing that, what I did was I created focus. So I was barely on social media. I was just focused on me. I wasn't meeting anybody or anything else. So I was really, really like, okay, how am I going to do this? I want it to be easy. I want it to really work this time. So I put a lot of effort in to make sure that happened. And it really did help by not being connected to anyone or anything. And then I set to booking in my exercise sessions and going about meal prepping. All of that worked. It's the same with when you're doing any kind of work. If you're looking for a new job, or even if you're like looking for a partner, just spend some really focused time on what you're trying to achieve. Don't just mindlessly apply for job roles because you hate your job. Look for job roles that are exactly what you want from a workplace, not just, oh, it's another $5,000, I'll take that job. Oh, that company's offering me a 50K signing on bonus. Nice one. But beyond that, it might be a really horrible office you've got to work in. Is that what you want? So really get clear on creating focus for the goals that you have, for the things that you want to achieve. And distraction comes in so many forms. People are a distraction. Time with family is a distraction. Being on the social medias or other apps, or meeting up with people, to be honest, these are all distractions. So when you feel like you're in this state of frustration with the progress of your goals, it's probably because you need to actually shut a lot of stuff out in order for you to connect with yourself and who you are today and what you really want. So take that time to be mindful of focus. I promise you, it's a real real game changer. And honestly, you're going to see it as the year progresses and the sorts of things that I share with you. You will really see how important focus is. And then other thing that I noticed that I guess kind of goes hand in hand with focus, and I've talked about this before, I think there's an entire show about this topic, is about discipline. I'm going to reiterate discipline because Mark Zuckerberg wants you to buy everything that you can see on Instagram, okay? That's what he wants you to do. Jeff Bezos wants you to be buying stuff from Amazon constantly. I even got pinged today because I haven't bought anything from Amazon in, I don't know, maybe 3 months. And I got a message saying, you might want to have a look at some home accessories. And I was like, that's a bit presumptuous. I was almost offended by that automated notification. Like, who are you? No, I'm fine at the moment, thanks. I'm taking a break from home decor, like it's done my head in. But point is, the online world, we might use it for escapism, but actually it's a place for distraction, and you are being bombarded constantly. And obviously, hands up, I'm one of the people that distracts you, but people teaching you stuff, educating, selling, tutorials, tips, constant. How do I make my life better? I'll go on Instagram and see. And then you go on Instagram and sometimes there's the odd quote that's really inspiring and lovely, but you don't actually act upon it, so it's pointless. You just read something nice. Or you might see a great new mascara or another way to contour or a lovely nail color or how to make cocktails or whatever it is, right? Then you see adverts for all of the same. And I ran a poll on social media a couple of months ago asking my followers, what do you like about social media? What don't you like? What do you do when you're on social media? And collectively, the answer came to boredom. I go on social media out of boredom. And then when I'm on social media, it's boring. Now, interesting results, obviously. I'm on social media, I'm a business, but I'm also trying to create a community, but I find it really difficult to create a community. And I don't know if it's because I'm wishy-washy or if I just don't have the skill set or if I'm not made for social media. I don't know. I'm an in-person person. I'm a podcast person. I like to be free. I like to just be me. And I feel like I can't be me completely on a video because I'm too conscious of the way I look and the lighting and the positioning of my chest so that the subtitles can sit correctly. Like, it's too much. Whereas on a podcast, I'm on the fly. Sometimes I follow a script. Sometimes I am freestyling like today because I'm just coming with energy. So with social media, there is a constant state of distraction. Now, if you've already got 101 million things going on in your life and then you go to social media to take a break, that's a mistake, babe, because when you go to social media, they're bombarding you with another 101 million things that you don't need in your life. So discipline has a massive role to play. Now, I'm not saying don't go on social media. I'm just bringing to your awareness the level of distraction, the magnitude of what social media does. Although it allows you to be connected, babe, before social media, I did not know everything about every single person in my life, and I was actually okay with that. We need to create this space. We do need to create this space. We can't go from one screen to another screen to another screen, because then there's Netflix, right? And now TV. And, I've been watching Scandal, Grey's Anatomy, Private Practice, Snowpiercer, Game of Thrones. I've been really going in recently with TV. And I've got to a point where I was like, what am I doing here? What am I doing? I'm literally sitting on a computer all day, and interspersed with the computer, I go on my phone onto Instagram and LinkedIn to connect with people. And then after that, I go and sit in front of the TV or my iPad to watch TV shows. This cannot be life. So if you find yourself in this kind of similar boat where you are literally going from screen to screen to screen, create some discipline around your time. Okay, this could be as part of your routine. So taking obviously regular breaks, going for walks, changing your environment, meeting up with friends, reading a book, those things like with all the paper in. Get a real book, read a book, do different things, because discipline is what will carry you through. Discipline, focus on your goal, of course, focus, but discipline is the thing that will actually make that goal happen, make it stick, make you want to do more of that thing. And that's what I want for you, obviously. I want you to be able to do more of the things that you want to do. I want you to be able to fulfill the actions that are required in order for you to achieve those goals that you set for yourself. I am so buzzing. I'm so glad to be back. I have missed you so much. Please send me a message on Instagram or email or any way you want to send me a message. Tell me what kind of stuff you want me to talk about this season. I've got an idea. I've got some incredible guests lined up. But if you want to share some ideas with me, please do so, because I want to make the show as helpful, as powerful, as amazing for you as I possibly can, because you're my favorite people. Anyway, I'm going to send you a lot of love right now. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope that there was some insight in today's show for you. And if you needed that bit of a reset, I hope it does that for you. If you need a bit more of a reset, I'm running a wellness retreat on the 11th of June for a week in Marrakesh. There are only a couple of places left. So if you are in need of some intense puja time, you time, then please get in touch and I will send you all the details and we'll take it from there. Sending you loads of love. Speak to you soon. Bye. Thank you for listening to the Self-Care 101 podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe, rate and review over on Apple Podcasts so that other people like you can find the show. For more information about the work I do, head over to my website, PujaMcClymont.com. And for daily inspiration, please connect with me on LinkedIn or Instagram at Puja McClymont. Sending love and talk to you soon.